Hello, everyone. My name is AP the Weird One, and welcome back to episode 21 of Full Metal Panic: Deep Trap. This is kind of a two-part. It's a multi-episode of continuing of the toy box from the previous episode 20. But there's two halves of this episode. The first half, which deals around with Sosuke again, and then the second half is basically Garon initiating his plan to take over the Toothless. And I'll kind of discuss each aspect of it. But I first want to touch on Sosuke and Kurt, because Kurt in this episode is sort of like in his finest moments, you could say, like him as being a really good character, his moment to shine, what makes him really good human being as a person. I really dig him, dig it this very much. But basically, what goes on is when Sosuke gets back to the locker room, he's obviously very pissed at that Mao got injured and that the device, the Alabast didn't work properly. The Lambda drive didn't work properly. He's overly pissed off, and Kamina comes in to kind of cheer him up, make him happy, but he's not in the right headspace. He gets angry at her. He basically throws a hissy fit and basically gets her to go run away. And Kurt comes in and basically slaps him because he made her cry, and he makes him think about things, and including going after Chitter. He decides to go after her, and they kind of play a little bit of a chase. Unfortunately, play a little bit of chase. Now, unfortunately, Kamina gets kidnapped by Garon, but it does lead to a moment later on near the episode where he really thinks more about her rather than what's going on in the Toothless, because they're having a fire drill caused by Garon, and he kind of gives up being a soldier and following by the rules and just being like Kurt, essentially. But Sosuke has a very high opinion of himself, and it's obviously done by also Callahan from the previous episode. He's got a lot of weight on his shoulders, and to have a machine such as the Alabasta that requires a faith-based system, or to trust in something that's more than just a machine, to focus it really made him angry, especially when he needed it the most. And he sees himself as this ultimate warrior, ultimate soldier, or ultimate mercenary, as he would say. He's the perfectionist, and he cannot do any flaws. And Kurt basically humbles him, realize you're not in this alone. Don't overrate yourself. And he says that, if you continue to act like this, you could be a bad husband. He kind of let him know. And I really appreciate that about Kurt, just kind of getting Sosuke to realize that he is human. Things are not always going to go perfectly. Yes, Mao got injured, but she's not dead or anything. And it's like, sometimes things aren't going to go perfectly. And following what's going to happen, it needed to be that. Sometimes that happens. They're all human, including him. Just because you're this mercenary who's had this really struggle of life doesn't mean you're not susceptible to being human. In fact, arguably, because he's fought in this condition, he's may not have what it necessarily takes to be the perfect soldier, in a matter of speaking. I don't know. Food for thought. I really appreciate it. But let's move on to Garon. Now, Callahan warns other soldiers that Garon's not to be underestimated. He is a very intelligent individual, and we do get to see that later on, how crude and nasty he is. Even if he's acts sick, don't believe him. You basically got to throw him under the rug. Unfortunately, Callahan doesn't leave his finest. He should have left Kurt and Sosuke in charge of the operation instead of some other individuals, because Garon manages to find those individuals in Mithril who are easily susceptible to money and being able to be bribed, and he manages to at least get a couple of them to work for him. So he finds chinks in his armor. Now, you could say that's a problem with being a mercenary. You're going to be easily susceptible if you have a more loyal nation, but even within our own unionist government, just because you're loyal to the United States means you can't be bribed. So it's a bit of side coin, a two-sided coin. Do you choose someone who's a mercenary, hire someone in hopes that they have good morals, even if they have it, or and try something with the United States, or I guess G.I. Joe sort of shtick? I don't know. I hopefully you understand what I mean. It like, do you choose all Americans or try to be part of a branch, knowing that the government's over you, or do you try to be your own organization, hire people do you believe have good morals? Maybe given the audacity of faith-based system, maybe choose more people of a certain religious faith, and you might not have this problem. Just a thought, just a slight thought. But anyway, yeah, Garron he enacts his plan. He's ruthless. Unfortunately, Kamina gets captured in the meantime, one of his precious prey, and is able to get the submarine to kind of do exactly as it is. So we'll see a bit more of this in the next 3 episodes. But yeah, we definitely see the parts of the Garron, but we also see that there are other members such as Melissa, Tessa, and even Callan realize don't take this guy underestimate it, and they even do to a certain extent. Like, we also learned that the Venom was pretty much intact, so there's something going on. You would think Tessa would do something with the Venom to make me do damage it or something more infuriating, but no, we gotta analyze and everything. I don't know. It's one of those situations I kind of wish. Yeah, I understand Garron is a very valuable asset, but they should have just put him down, just kill him. Given that he's such a psychotic maniac killer and who should have died plenty of times over. I know they should have gotten rid of. They should have gotten rid of him instead of trying to interrogate him. And maybe, I guess if they got rid of Garland, they could still hold on to the Venom. But yeah, that's my personal feeling, and I think it's pretty obvious that they should have done that. But with that, I'll end the episode here. Hopefully, you guys enjoy. I'll try to clear up things next week. I obviously have my dog who's been injured. I might work on some reviews over the weekend just in case anything happens bad with Major. But yeah, anyway, hopefully you have a Wonderful Friday and a good weekend. Catch you guys on Monday.